David Cone was a bold and brilliant pitcher during his 17 career in the majors. The former Royal became a master of mechanics and mental toughness. And the five-time All-Star, five-time world champion now gives his full count, balls and strikes, errors and outs of his colorful life in baseball in his new book, Full Count, The Education of a Pitcher. And author and former Major Leaguer David Cone joins us now here. Welcome to Better Kansas City. Now, I guess I could say welcome back to Kansas City because you were born and raised here. We've already had people calling in from Rockhurst wanting to say hi to you on the phone line. So welcome back to Kansas City.
It's great. My family's still here. I still consider myself a Kansas Citian.
Yeah. Well, what was it like growing up here, playing ball here in the Van Johnson Leagues, and then getting drafted by your hometown Kansas City Royals?
It was incredible. I mean, I was floored. From a kid growing up in the northeast section of Kansas City, learning how to play in the backyard and wiffle ball.
Yeah.
My dad was a blue-collar guy, worked a graveyard shift here in Kansas City. So that was something, to be able to make my Major League debut with my family in the stands. And geez, it was a long time ago. It was 1986, but felt like I was running underwater when I ran to the mound to pitch in that first game.
That had to have been amazing. I mean, with the Royals just winning the World Series the year before that, then you get that opportunity right out of the gate and playing for Dick Howser was the skipper back then, wasn't he?
He was in 1986.
Yeah.
He was the skipper, and then obviously had some health issues and had a brain tumor and tragically passed away. And the next spring in '87, Billy Gardner took over for
right.
Dick Howser on an interim basis.
Okay, but then your career's taken you to many different clubs around the major leagues, and you wound up in New York Yankees, to the despise of all of us Kansas City fans here, right? So did you get a lot of grief for that, for having to go pitch for the Yankees?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought that a kid that grew up in Kansas City, that grew up hating the Yankees.
Yeah.
I mean, the sweet spot was the 70s when the Yankees and Royals, those great Royals teams, were going at it. 4 out of 5 years, the Royals and Yankees matched up in those years. And I still remember George Brett's home run off of Goose Gossage in 1980, and the Royals finally got by the Yankees.
It was a big day back then. And talk a little bit about the book and what you're talking about, because I know you touch on a lot of the like you said, the developmental league and the Van Johnson League. And then how much do you talk about your perfect game? Because I mean, it's only been done 23 times in Major League Baseball, and you have one of those perfect games on your record.
Yeah, I mean, the further removed I get from that perfect game, it's 20 years ago in July this year. It's a little scary talking about that, but the more I appreciate it because it's a signature moment.
Yeah.
And Yankee fans and really baseball fans want to tell me where they were in the 9th inning, and everybody's got a story. You know, they were at the beach somewhere or with their grandmother. It was the last big moment they shared with somebody that introduced them to the game. So that made me realize that it's a much bigger issue, more a family type issue with baseball than it is any one singular achievement.
What's that pressure like on the mound in that 9th inning, that you know what you're on the peak of doing, and all you have to do is retire 3 batters?
Right.
But I mean, that stress, that pressure, that anxiety has got to be through the roof.
It really is. You know, Jack Curry's the writer I collaborated with, is a great writer, and he did a great job. We actually opened up the book with me after 8 innings of a perfect game. It's Yogi Berra Day. And I walk up into the clubhouse, and everybody's superstitious. So everybody scatters. Nobody will look at me. Nobody will talk to me. And I'm going nuts. I'm ready to have a nervous breakdown. So I go to the bathroom, put my hands on the sink, and have this out loud talk with myself in the mirror. And
really?
It was good angel and bad angel. It was, you can do this, positive thinking. And then on the other end, it's, well, you better prepare yourself in case you don't. You might hang a slider, you might make a mistake, and then you blow it. And it was an incredible anxiety-driven conversation. If you would have seen me in the Yankee Stadium bathroom talking to myself in the mirror, you probably would have thought I was a little crazy.
Had your own little movie moment or something like that leading up to your appearance in that game then, huh? Okay.
No, it really was. I mean, that's one of the things I'm most proud of with the book, is that we kind of show the raw, kind of a real honest side of athletes that sometimes lose their minds out there. And I go through some of the mistakes I made in my career, and we're really proud of it. It's debuted at number 13 on the New York Times bestseller list.
So, well, congratulations. That's fantastic
in its first
news.
week, for a baseball book to hit the New York Times bestseller at number 13 is something to be proud of.
Well, you know, baseball is such, in addition to being a game of skill, I mean, such a mental game like you were talking about, and to be able to read about some of your those, not struggles, but, things you have to go through to be successful in the major leagues. I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it's really true. And there's kind of a theme, a cultural theme, whereas there was a lot of tough love back in the 80s.
Yeah.
When you had to be a rookie and you got cut down a size, and, and now to where it's different, where we kind of embrace the rookies, and it's okay to talk about anxiety, and you're not perceived as being weak. It's okay to have some issues and not feel like you can't turn to somebody and talk to them about, because back in the 70s and 80s, you were perceived as weak. If my arm hurts, I'm in the trainer's room, I'm anxious, I'm a little nervous before the game. You would have gotten hammered back in the 80s. So certainly progress culturally speaking in the game, and I applaud it.
Well, you're in town for the Yankees-Royals this weekend. Any thoughts on the game before, or on the series before we get started tonight?
Yeah, you know, it's classic Yankees-Royals, but, you know, I really think the Royals have some great young players. I know the record is not so great this year for them, and it can be frustrating for fans, but I do believe they have the nucleus. Mondesi and Short.
Mondesi and Witt, Merrifield.
Whit Merrifield, any major league team would love to have that guy on their team, and Dozier, too, really coming. So I think the Royals have more to look forward to than the record would indicate right now.
All right, the foundation's there. Just give it some time. Okay, well, David Cone, we appreciate you being here. We can't wait to check out the book. You can meet David on Saturday evening at 7 o'clock at Rainy Day Books, which is located in the Fairway Shops. Hardcovers of Full Count must be purchased from Rainy Day Books in order to get into the event. For more information, call Rainy Day Books at the number right there on your screen.